Uh, Hello, my dear future chartered accountants. Welcome to the discussion on basics of foreign exchange. This is CA Chinmay Hegde, your learning partner for CA Final SFM paper Strategic Financial Management. To start with one poor joke, PJ, in your life, X is going to have a different role. You don't like your X, isn't it? But this chapter has got 4x. How? 4x. Okay, anyway. This chapter, foreign exchange chapter, is one of the most important chapter for examination perspective. Somehow students don't find it comfortable, maybe because of the different currencies involved. But any case, people are not finding it comfortable for various reasons. Different layers of confusions are there. We have to solve one by one. Okay. So my dear friends, one of the most confusing aspect in this chapter is when to multiply, when to divide. Just like the way you had one of the confusions in your BRS, correct? When to add, when to subtract. Similar situation here, whether to multiply or divide. My teacher told me in my BRS, very good technique, beautiful technique, and I'll share it with you. You also learn, you can never go wrong, even in this foreign exchange chapter. I'll assure you. Okay? This technique goes like this. Read the problem and feel from bottom of your heart whether it is going to be multiplied or divided. If your feeling will say that you have to multiply to divide, if your feeling says divide, multiply, because your feeling and facts can never go together. Your feeling is never right. Anyway, so keeping the lighter part aside, let us go into the foreign exchange chapter. What are the important characteristics, terminologies involved, and of course what techniques we can follow to make the things better. Okay. So observe this, my dear friends. In olden days, long ago, like no, in the stories in the stories they tell, once upon a time, before all these currencies, money, coins came up, how the economic transactions used to happen, where we used to exchange goods for goods, called as barter system, where you exchange goods for goods or services. Just imagine how things would be if the barter system were to apply today in the classes. Let's say, while coming to my class, you can't say, I will pay money. So what do you say? Every day you come up with, sir, why don't you take this food, this drink? While going out, you might say, sir, I will drop you. Exchange, no? Goods of services. Things would have been different. Anyway, so barter system where goods are exchanged, goods and services for goods and services. Later came this money system where you exchange goods and services for money. Goods and services are the products which are exchanged. Money is a medium of measurement. That is where this currency came into picture. And then this currency market, now what is happening? You are exchanging currency for currency. You are exchanging currency for currency. So when you are exchanging currency for currency, what is the product? If you exchange rupee for dollar, what is the product? What is the medium of exchange? If you purchase 1 kg of rice, rice is product, and money, rupee is what you pay, is medium of exchange, medium of measurement. But here, currency is the product, currency is the medium of exchange, and that is the problem in this chapter, because we don't know which one to multiply, which one to divide, which rate to take, what we are buying, what we are selling. That is a problem. Okay, keep that in mind. And more importantly, this, my dear friends, this is a very small point, but this has got a lot of significance. When you go for a hotel, okay, when you go for a hotel or restaurant and you pay rupees 10 and get one tea, let's say. So what you are buying? One tea. What you are selling? Hey, you are not selling anything. You are paying 10 rupees. Correct. You are getting one product, paying medium of measurement. Perfectly fine. Now you come to this example. You purchase $1 for 70 rupees. You pay 70 rupees and you get $1. So you say, I'm purchasing dollar, yaar. Okay, no problem. But observe, both are currencies. You might say, I'm paying rupees, I'm purchasing dollars. But on the other hand, other persons will say, I'm purchasing rupees and giving you dollars. Okay, confusion is there? Yeah, that is my intention. Don't worry, I'm there to simplify. Very simple, my dear friends. In this currency, we talk about purchase and sale, but you should also think that what currency going out is a currency, what is coming in is also a currency. So what is going out, you take it as sales, and what is coming in, you take it as purchase. It might be slightly difficult, uncomfortable, I'm sure you'll get used to it. That is, I'm getting rupees means you should say, I'm purchasing rupees. I'm giving rupees means I'm selling rupees. I'm getting dollar means purchasing dollars. I'm giving dollars means selling dollars. Purchasing euro means getting euro. Giving euro means selling euro. Correct? Every time currency is coming in, you say I purchase that currency, and simultaneously you give another currency that is being sold. So every time a transaction happens in currency market, you should be able to think I'm purchasing one currency and I'm selling one currency. Okay, keep these basics in mind. We'll go further and we'll make use of it. Okay, so what is foreign currency market? What we just discussed, it's a market, it's a place where currencies are bought and sold. One currency is purchased, other currency is sold. So at every transaction, currency itself is a medium of measurement and currency itself is a product. Both commodities are currencies and both are medium of exchange. And the rate at which you buy and sell is called as conversion rate. $1 equal to 70 rupees is conversion rate. Using this rate, you can convert dollars into rupees or rupees into dollars, vice versa. Okay. Now, these conversion rates will not be fixed in nature, it will be fluctuating in nature depending on the demand and supply of two currencies. Therefore, that uncertainty, that movement of conversion rate is called as currency risk. Okay. Now, so what are the things we are going to discuss in this chapter? The uncertainty element, that conversion rate I told you, it is going to fluctuate. That is what is conversion rates. It will affect which position, either exporter position or importer position, and when this risk is there, we need to understand various risk management strategies, risk reducing strategies called as hedging strategies. Okay, this is what our target is going to be. Let us take one by one. First thing is regarding the conversion rate, understanding about direct quote and indirect quote. Then we'll go for bid, offer, spread, margin things to be applied. Okay, let us come to the direct quote. What is direct quote? Direct quote is $1. Let me come to other things. One furniture is 1,000 rupees. One laptop is 1,000 rupees. One pen 1,000 rupees. One plate rice 1,000 rupees. Not 1,000, maybe 30 rupees. That is, when you express one product, that is called as direct quote. Similarly, one unit equals to so many medium of exchange, that is, 1 unit of foreign currency equals so many units of local currency is direct quote. That is, $1 equals to 50 rupees. Why it is called as direct quote? Because $1 equals to 50 rupees. The dollar is treated like a product. One furniture equals, one chair equals, one pen equals, one pen drive equals, one plate equals, $1 equals. So the foreign currency is treated like a product. The price of the foreign currency is exchanged, price of the foreign currency is expressed in rupee terms, in local terms, in the unit of measurement terms. And that is called as direct quote. Indirect quote means opposite. One unit of medium of exchange is so many units of product. That is, one unit of local currency is so many units of foreign currency. Example, 1 rupee equals $0.02. Okay, my dear friends, I will give you this one example. Tell me whether direct quote or indirect quote. $1 equal to 70 rupees. $1 is 70 rupees. Direct quote. 1 rupee equals 0.025 euro. 1 rupee equals 1 unit of local currency equals indirect quote. 1 pound equals $1.8. Now you tell me whether direct quote or indirect quote. Not so easy, isn't it? When rupee is involved, we can identify, because for us rupee is local currency and other currency is foreign currency. But when two foreign currencies are involved, you don't know what is local, what is foreign. So it's be difficult for us to identify direct quote, indirect quote. Essentially, direct quote and indirect quote is two sides of same coin. So if you think the rupee point of view as local currency, dollar is foreign currency. But if you think dollar is local currency, rupee becomes foreign currency. So one point of view it is direct quote and another point of view it is indirect quotes. Hope you understand this aspects. Okay, so my dear friends, in general, in regular transaction, which one do you apply, direct quote or indirect quote? You go to hotel and say, boss, I have 20 rupees. How much idli can you give? Will you tell like that? Or will you tell, what is one plate idli? 20 rupees? Okay, take 20 rupees. You always take what is one plate idli equals in terms of product, direct quote. But if you tell, I have 20 rupees, how many idlis you can give me? That is still fine, no problem. But if you think about masala dosa, let's say, you go to hotel and say, what is one plate masala dosa? He say 50 rupees, you pay it. No problem, direct quote. You go to hotel and tell, boss, I have 25 rupees. How many masala dosa you can give me? Half? Give me half. You don't tell. That is indirect quote. When you express from the point of view of the product, it becomes direct quote. When you express from the point of view of the currency you have, unit of measurement you have, it is indirect quote. And my dear friends, in one place, you always go for indirect quote, whether consciously, unconsciously or subconsciously. You know where? Petrol bunks. You go and tell 100 rupees, whatever the liter you put. You never tell 1 liter 70 rupees, okay, take 70 rupees. You never tell. You give the currency, you receive the product as a balancing figure. Hope you got that point. What is that indirect? I don't follow this direct quote, indirect quote while solving problems because my method is slightly different, but as a concept you need to be aware of it. Okay, so this is direct quote, indirect quote. Okay, look at this example. $1 is 50 rupees. So $100 equal to how much? Multiply or divide? Sir, $1 50 rupees, $100. Multiply 100 into 50 into 100, 5,000. Good. 10,000 rupee equal to how many dollars? $1 is 50 rupees. 10,000 rupee equal to 10,000 by 50, $2,000. No problem. Good. 1 GBP equal to 1.8 USD. 10,000 USD is how many GBP? Now comes the confusion. Now comes the shivering. Now comes the issue. You don't feel like solving foreign exchange chapter because of this. Two different foreign currencies. Okay, my dear friends, pay attention here. This is important. While converting. There is no accounting standard. There is no auditing standard. There is no standard in SFM. It is the subject still not having any bias of law, rules, legislation. It is still common sense. So people follow different techniques here. Some people follow local currency, foreign currency method. Some people follow mathematical cross product rule method. Some people follow direct quote, indirect quote method. People have different approaches. I have done enough research. I tried all possible way of understanding. According to me, the method which is the most suitable method which can be applied universally for different types of problems is this. The left hand side method and right hand side method. LHS, RHS. It might be slightly new to you. You might not have come across this earlier in your life, and you might not see these institute questions. So you might have second thoughts. But let me tell you, my dear friends, throughout this chapter, this technique, if you understand, this chapter is done. You don't have any confusion, and you can solve the problem in few minutes in a matter of few steps. But you have to understand this clearly. So what you have to do for this? Be with me. Initially, spend few minutes to get the basics of this, so that in any new problems we get, any new variety you get, this technique is going to be the best method you can apply. You get the correct answer in a time efficient manner. Initially you might feel, sir, this method, LHS, RHS method is taking 10 seconds extra, sir. My method, multiplication method, is faster, sir. It might be there. But when we go to higher level, my method will give the answer in 20 seconds. Your method will not give the answer at all. I mean, I'm not going against any methods, but this is the quickest method from student's perspective. All methods are correct. I'm not going against any person. This is the best, this is not the best. According to me, based on the feedback I got from the students with whom I interacted, I thought this is the best method. Let us go with that. Okay, what is left hand side? What is given on this currency is left hand side. What is given here, this currency, is right hand side. Got the point? So rule is this, my dear friends. If left hand side currency is given, multiply. If right hand side currency is given, divide. Simple rule, that's all. If left hand side currency is given, multiply. Right hand side currency is given, divide. Don't worry at this stage whether you are buying or selling. Buying the currency, selling the currency, which is important, that will come in a later stage. But at this point in time, your concentration should go which unit the problem has expressed in. Left hand side currency expression, you multiply. Right hand side currency expression, you divide. Please observe this. 1 GBP is left hand side, USD is right hand side. Which is the currency here? 10,000 USD, right hand side, you divide. Matter over. Look at this. $1, 50 rupees, $100. Dollar is left hand side, rupee is right hand side. Left hand side given. Given means not purchase or sale. Given means in which unit the problem is expressing in. That is $100, left hand side, you multiply. 10,000 rupees, right hand side, divide over. Simple. Let us try one more. Look at this. Example. 1 USD 45 rupees, 1 euro 0.8 GBP. All these are examples. So USD is left hand side, 45 rupees right hand side. Euro is left hand side, 0.8 GBP is right hand side. I know it's very simple, but still I have to tell you what is left side, what is right side. Okay, so in the question, if LHS is mentioned, multiply. If RH is mentioned, divide. Look at this. How many USD to be sold to get GBP 1000? Don't worry about what to be sold, what to be given. Just identify what is left hand side, what is right hand side. If the unit expressed is left hand side, you multiply. If the unit expressed is right hand side, you divide. So look at this. 1 GBP is 1.34 USD. 1 GBP is left hand side and USD is right hand side. Don't worry about buy sell. What currency is this, my dear friends? What currency? GBP. Left hand side, right hand side. GBP is left hand side. So you multiply. So it is going to be 1000 multiplied by 1.34. Simple. One more example. So in this case, left hand side is GBP, right hand side is USD. Given is GBP, left hand side you multiply. Got your first clarification? One. How many rupees to be sold to get 1000 USD? Rupees to be sold, purchased and all, don't worry. What is the unit? 1 rupee. So rupee is left hand side. Dollar is right hand side. What currency is mentioned? 1000 USD. USD is which side? Outside, is it? 1000 USD is right hand side. Right hand side means divide. 1000 divided by 0.025. Okay. Let us take up one more example. Please understand here. Let us read the problem. The following spot rates are observed in foreign currency market. Currency, foreign currency per US dollar, British pound, Netherlands guilder, Sweden kroner, Switzerland franc, Italian lira, Japanese yen. I don't know what you learn in this chapter, how much marks you get in exam, but I'm sure you will learn some currencies of the world, which country uses which currency. At least that level of knowledge you can get from this chapter. On the base of this information, the nearest second decimal, the number of British pounds that can be acquired for $100, dollar that 50 Dutch guilder will buy, Swedish krona that can be acquired for $40, dollars that 200 Swiss francs will buy, Italian lira that can be acquired for $10, dollars that 1000 Japanese yen will buy. If you follow these other methods, I'm sure you get the answer, but longer and not reliable. Now observe this method, my dear friends. What is the currency given? Foreign currency per US dollar. Per US dollar, that means 1 USD equals so many other currencies. So USD is our left hand side and all these currencies are our right hand side. Clear? Good. Now don't read the full sentence in the problem. Just read what is the unit given. Just the unit. For example, $100. Dollar is which side? Dollar is left hand side. Multiply. Simple. Okay? Apply this. So $100, left hand side, multiply. What is next? 50 Dutch guilders, right hand side, divide. $40, left hand side, multiply. 200 Swiss franc, right hand side, divide. $10, left hand side, multiply. And then 1000 Japanese yen, right hand side, divide. Matter over. Left hand side currency given, you multiply. Right hand side currency given, you divide. Okay. I hope one main issue of this chapter, when to multiply, when to divide, got cleared. I hope you don't feel from bottom of your heart whether to multiply or divide. Later you search where is your heart, you would have given to somebody else. Okay. Anyway, keep it aside. So one issue is solved. When to multiply, when to divide. Left hand side currency is mentioned, multiply. Right hand side currency is mentioned, divide. Okay. Now let us go into one more issue now in the foreign exchange chapter, that is bid rate and ask rate. For that you understand, when you go to bank and say I want dollars, what will they tell? Will they tell like, oh, you want dollars? Wait outside, 10 minutes I'll print and give it to you. It's very hot. Wait for 10 minutes, we'll give you hot cake kind of thing. They can't manufacture it. It's not a manufacturable product. They need to purchase from somewhere else. That person is called as dealer, is also called as interbank market. So bank as an intermediary should get from somewhere else and give it to you. They are not the manufacturers. They are only the intermediaries. Therefore, when bank is transacting with you, when they sell, they sell at a higher rate, but when they purchase from you, they purchase at a lower rates. Because they need to make a profit, right? They can't say that we are doing charity. I will sell at a lower rate, I'll give you at a higher rate. That is not the way the bank's financial institution is going to run. They need to make a profit. They can't manufacture it. That is what is called as bid rate and offer rate. So, bid rate is the rate at which bank buys, the rate at which customer sells. Therefore, it is going to be lesser rate. Bank is buying at a lower rate, customer is selling at a lower rate. Bank is on advantage position, customer is on disadvantage position. So when between you think between bank and customer, if you're thinking customer point of view, you think like a disadvantage position, like sell rate is lower rate. But if you think from bank point of view, you take an advantage position, still a lower rate when you are buying. But when you're thinking between bank and the dealer or interbank market, bank becomes disadvantage position. Hope you're understanding it, my dear friends. We'll do enough number of problems, don't worry. This is bid rate. Bid rate is bank buys, customer sells at a lower rate. Offer rate means bank is selling at a higher rate and customer is buying at a higher rate. So in general, you can say customer will be in disadvantage position. Simple. You can think from bank point of view or you can think from customer point of view, but most of the problem we solve will be from customer point of view. Once you're comfortable with the customer point of view, we'll think about bank point of view also. But first, make yourself comfortable. Get the confidence that you can do this chapter. Don't try to think from both point of view and confuse yourself. There are enough things to confuse you. Don't add your own layer to that. Okay? Keep it very simple. Think from customer point of view. When two rates are given, customer will buy at a higher rate and customer will sell at a lower rate. The first rate is called, the customer selling is called as bid rate. Customer buying is called as offer rate. Customer disadvantage position, he buys at a higher rate and he sells at a lower rate. Very clear? Look at this example. $1 is, let's say, 70 rupees. If you are buying dollars, at which rate will you buy? Let's say given two rates, 70 and 71. Customer point of view, you are buying at a higher rate is 71. Okay? So think from customer point of view. If customer is buying, he will buy at a higher rate. If he is selling at a lower rate. Don't worry about these names, bid rate, offer rate. If you are aware of it, it's sufficient, but you don't have to apply it in every problem you solve. I repeat, customer, disadvantage position, buying at a higher rate, selling at a lower rate. One simple question. Don't laugh at me. Don't take me personally, something else. Which is higher rate, 70 or 71? What happened to you is what you're looking at me now. 70 or 71? 71 is high. No problem. 1 by 3 is more or 1 by 4 is more? 1 by 4? No. 1 by 3 is more. Correct? No. You go to hotel, they understand. You do 1 by 2 or 1 by 3. Who gets more? 1 by 2 gets more. 1 by 3 means 1 divided among 3 people. Okay, forget about that. When you divide by a higher rate, that actually becomes lower rate. So take this number 69.23, 69.35. Which is higher rate? 69.35. If I do 1 by 69.23, 1 by 69.35, which is higher rate? 1 by 69.23. Hope you're getting the point, my dear friends. When it is multiply, you take the straightforward rate, whichever is high. But when you're dividing, you should keep it in mind. 1 divided by higher rate is actually the lower in value. 1 divided by lower value is actually higher in value. So when you multiply, in the first step, LHS given multiply, RHS given divide. So first step, LHS given multiply, you take whichever is higher directly, whichever is lower directly. But when you do divided by, be very careful. 1 divided by lower rate is higher rate, 1 divided by higher rate is lower rate. Okay, good. So just to summarize, my dear friends, what are the steps you have to decide? First step is decide whether you are going to multiply or divide. If left hand side currency is mentioned, you multiply. If right hand side currency is mentioned, not buy and sell, mentioned, you divide. That is the first thing you do. After that you come to higher rate, lower rate. Please be very careful about the sequence. First you decide multiply or divide, then you come to higher rate or lower rate. Got it? Very nice. So first you decide multiply, divide. Accordingly, if you purchase, you will purchase at a higher rate, and if you sell, you sell at a lower rate. And also keep it in mind, when you are purchasing, nothing but you are receiving. Sir, purchasing means you are making a payment. No, you are making a payment later. But in that transaction, I'm purchasing dollars means I'm receiving dollars. I'm selling dollar means I'm giving dollars. Hope you understand. Purchases coming in. Therefore, whenever I say receive dollar and purchase dollars, both are same. Currency market, currencies are exchanged. Medium of exchange is also currencies. Currencies are products, currencies are medium of exchange. But keep it very simple. What is coming in? Dollar coming in, dollar I'm purchasing, and dollar is what I'm receiving. So receiving is equal to purchase, sales equals to payment. Okay. To understand this, let us take up one table. If you are thorough with this table, this conversion rate, which one to take, is resolved. I have included all possibilities here. Please practice. If you want more, take this picture of this, what we are going to discuss. Keep on repeating it. You will get used to the rates, which one to take, which one to not to take. And once you decide which rate to take, which one to multiply, to divide, this chapter is easy, not at all difficult. Okay, this is the foundation, which is important. If this foundation is not there, how many floors you think you can construct? Foundation is important. Okay, observe. One by one, carefully. $1 is 50.212, 50.25 purchase USD. First you decide multiply, divide. Next you decide higher rate, lower rate. Please understand. First step is to decide multiply, divide. Next step is to understand multiply, higher rate or lower rate. Okay, look at the first one. 1 USD is 50.12, 50.25 rupees. First identify which is left hand side, USD, right hand side, rupees. And what you're doing? Purchase USD. Purchasing left hand side. First you decide left hand side means multiply. Left hand side is USD. USD mentioned, multiply. Now multiply means straightforward. Which rate you take? Purchase will be at a higher rate, sale will be at a lower rate. Purchase, higher rate is 50.25, that is what is the rate relevant. Okay, now coming to this. Please look at this, GBP left hand side, USD right hand side, and you are having 1000 USD, 1000 USD, right hand side, right hand side. Right hand side means divide. And you are purchasing means it will be at a higher rate. Which is higher rate? Keep it in mind, you are dividing it. When you divide, 1 divided by higher rate becomes lower rate, 1 divided by lower rate becomes higher rate. You need a higher rate, go for 1 by lower rate, 1 by 1.45. Only when you divide you should be careful. Let's do a few more, you understand the practice. Sell 1000 USD. USD left hand side, rupee right hand side, USD left hand side, multiply. USD left hand side multiplied. Selling USD multiplied, straightforward. Selling will be at a lower rate and the lower rate is 50.12. Straightforward because you are multiplying. Coming next. 1 GBP, 1.45 or 1.75 USD, purchase 1000 GBP. What is left hand side? GBP. Right hand side USD. What you're doing? 1000 GBP. Left hand side multiply. And what you're doing? Purchase. Purchase means higher rate, and multiply. Higher rate is straightforward higher rate. Straightforward higher rate is 1.75. Let us do a few more. You'll get practice. The only way to get confidence is practice. Practice makes man perfect, woman also perfect. Just practice. Coming to this, 1 GBP is 0.90259045 euro. 1000 euro is sold. Euro, right hand side. Euro, right hand side. Divide. Selling means lower rate. What is lower rate? When you're dividing, 1 divided by higher rate. 1 divided by higher rate is 1 by 0.9045. Lower rate is 1 by higher rate. Next, 1 AUD is 1.8 and 1.85 is GD. By 1000 is GD. SGD is right hand side. SGD is right hand side. Right hand side means divide. And you're buying higher rate. Which is higher rate? You're dividing 1 divided by lower rate. That is 1 by 1.80. 1 by 1.80. Coming to next, 1 USD is so much of GBP. Selling 1000 GBP. GBP right hand side. GBP right hand side. Right hand side means divide. You are selling lower rate. Which is lower rate? Whichever is lower, but you're dividing it. When you're dividing, 1 divided by higher rate. And 1 by higher rate is 0.6025. Nice, right? Next, fast. Now this time you have to do fast. 1 euro, so much of USD, sell 1000 euro. Euro, left hand side. Euro, left hand side, multiply. And selling will happen at a lower rate. And multiplying, it means straightforward lower rate. Straightforward lower rate is 1.45. Now, quick. 1 GBP is 1.45 USD, selling USD, USD, right hand side means divide. Selling means lower rate. You're dividing. Lower rate is 1 divided by higher rate, 1 by 1.75. Last one, 1 AUD is 0.9025 and 0.9045. That is left hand side is AUD, right hand side is GBP. AUD is left hand side means multiply. Buying means at a higher rate, and higher rate straightforward because multiply. Straightforward higher rate is 0.9045, and that's all, my dear friends. So this is the foundation required to decide which rate to take, higher rate, lower rate, and whether multiply or divide. Hope you got this confidence. Please practice more number of problems. We have got many more techniques to be applied in so many places. Some shortcuts are also there, but all those things will work provided you understand this technique carefully. So I hope you enjoyed this foreign exchange sessions. Please practice more. We'll see you in the next session. Thank you.